The transmission crackled to life. Faint static buzzing before the translator adjusted, filling the cold metallic room with a voice that carried the weight of fear and memory. Commander Relvac of the Drexan Dominion stood at the center of the debriefing chamber, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the sterile lights, mandibles twitching as 1,000 eyes fixated on him. They weren't cadets. No, not today. Today, they were survivors, soldiers, battle-hardened veterans of campaigns across the stars. Yet not one among them dared interrupt as Relvac began. "You asked for the truth," his voice rasped, modulator smoothing his guttural clicks into something they could all comprehend. The real stories, not the censored reports of Dominion broadcasts, not the coward's lies whispered in darkened cantinas. The truth of what happened when we crossed blades with the humans. The room shifted, uneasy. Even the officers lining the back walls stiffened. Relvac's single remaining antenna curled downward, a sign of bitterness and dread. I was there when we first thought them prey. His memories surged like venom through his mind, unbidden but sharp. The Dominion fleet arrived at Proxima's outpost, expecting another weak colony of oxygen breathers, some mewling species desperate to cling to a rock. The report said primitive. The council declared unarmed. I believed them, fool that I was. His voice dipped lower, steady as a death chant. The humans let us land. They let us breach their cities. We thought they surrendered. I remember the day, well, the sky bled crimson from our atmospheric entry, our war banners unfurled, and their people stayed hidden. His claws flexed involuntarily, phantom pain from his missing digits pulsing beneath the armor. At first, it was like every other conquest. We stormed their structures. They fled underground. We broadcast our victory across their channels. I even saw their younglings, so small, fragile, wide-eyed as they vanished into shadows. We thought them defeated. We thought them broken. He exhaled, the clicking of his mandibles tightening. Then came the night. Our sentries vanished. First a patrol, then an entire platoon. Gone. No screams. No signs of struggle. Just missing. Whispers rippled through the chamber. Relvac silenced them with a glare, his remaining eye glowing faintly under his ocular implant. We searched. We found nothing but the echoes of laughter. Faint, distorted to the comms, bouncing off walls, creeping into the bones like frostbite. It wasn't the laughter of soldiers. It was worse. His claw tapped the podium, a rhythmic beat like a heartbeat accelerating. Children. Silence suffocated the room. We found a recording. Their young ones giggling, singing songs in the dead of night, deep beneath their city. We traced the signal. We followed. His voice cracked, the memory raw as the acid scars across his thorax. The tunnels weren't tunnels. They were fortresses, a labyrinth built not by engineers, but by survivors, generations preparing for this moment. They didn't run. They lured us in. His mandibles clenched, the sharp edges grinding faintly. We lost 5,000 in the first hour. He paused, letting the horror simmer. They didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like predators. Ambushes in the dark, booby traps in the walls. Their machines weren't sleek warcraft. They were repurposed mining rigs, fusion cutters, construction bots rigged with explosives and saw blades. His hand shook, curling into a trembling fist. I saw a human child, barely past their infancy, guiding a drone swarm into our ranks. They didn't hesitate. They didn't flinch. They killed with the precision of veterans twice our age. He took a moment, steadying himself as the room absorbed the words. The worst came later. His antenna sagged further. The Black Force campaign. Veterans across the room shuddered. The name was legend, a whispered ghost story. We thought we could crush their resistance by scouring their forests, burn the trees, flush them out. But the humans, his voice faltered, the memory coiling around him like a noose. They became the forest. His claws trembled as he recalled the scent of burning would mix with blood, the hiss of unseen blades slicing through his squad mates. Their camouflage, it wasn't technology. It was art. Their snipers, ghosts wrapped in leaves and shadows. Their traps, silent, brutal, efficient. One step off the path, and your limbs were gone. A breath too loud, and your skull shattered. We never saw them, only their eyes glowing faintly in the dark. A murmur of disbelief stirred, but Relvax I burned with unrelenting certainty. I watched Captain Zorik, a warrior who survived the Zarn extinction, beg for mercy as a human operative appeared from nowhere and slit his throat. They didn't taunt. They didn't celebrate. They vanished. He inhaled, the room thick with dread. Days turned to weeks. Morale broke. I saw Drexan warriors, elite assassins, weep like hatchlings in the night. We were the invaders, but the ground beneath our claws betrayed us. The walls whispered their names. The shadows hid their blades. He leaned forward, voice like a predator's growl. Then they unleashed their real weapons. His mandibles parted, revealing jagged fangs beneath. Psychological warfare. They didn't need orbital strikes or planet crackers. They needed stories. He tapped his temple. They infected our comms with tales. Whisper horrors about units that vanished, about prisoners never seen again, about the Silent Brigade. Humans trained to hunt in absolute stillness, able to strike without a sound. We laughed at first, until our veterans disappeared one by one, their helmets left neatly on their beds. His exoskeleton shuddered, a rare sign of vulnerability. It didn't stop there. The food rations? Spoiled overnight. Water supplies? Laced with hallucinogens. Our own machines? Turned against us by human infiltrators wearing our skins as disguises. The room recoiled in disgust. Relvax mandibles clicked sharply. Literal skins. They harvested our fallen, used their carapace and exoskeletons to blend in. We never saw them coming. He let the silence stretch, suffocating and heavy. By the time High Command realized the truth, it was too late. Entire battalions wiped out. Our fleet in orbit, disabled by sabotage. Our generals, dead or captured. His claw tapped again, deliberate, like the ticking of a countdown. And then they released the footage. Not propaganda. Proof. His eye gleamed with bitter admiration. They recorded every failure, every cowardly retreat, every Drexan corpse littering their soil, and they broadcast it to the entire Dominion. Gasps echoed. I watched my people cower in front of their screens. I saw hatchlings scream as human operatives stared into the cameras, not with hatred, but with indifference. He straightened, the weight of those memories settling on his broad shoulders. We never recovered. We never truly fought the humans again. Oh, we skirmish. We posture. But every Drexan who remembers knows better. His voice dipped to a whisper, more terrifying than any battle cry. You can face their fleets. You can endure their weapons. But when you hear their children's laughter in the dark, you're already dead. The room sat frozen, every eye wide, and Tenny limp with dread. That, Relvac hissed, stepping down from the podium, is human warfare. He walked into the silence, his claws clicking against the metallic floor, leaving behind only the echo of his final warning and the quiet, lingering terror that no shield, no weapon, no army could ever truly protect him from the predators who smiled as they hunted.